Live. Give people a second to find it real quick.
Cool.
Yeah, StreamYard makes everything super easy.
Except it does. We use this for one of my podcasts, and for some reason, my good webcam, uh, but like freezes all the time. So I have to use the one on my computer, which is why it looks so bad.
Gotcha. Well, come on in, everybody. This is a special one. We have been meaning to start talking to more comedians that are coming through Zanies, especially people like BRENT, who I'm a fan of. He makes a lot of really funny videos. Basically doing, I guess, a Trumper character. What would you call that character that you're basically doing, Brent?
Every guy that's ever ranted in his truck, I guess I call him like just the alpha male,
The alpha
the
male.
prototype alpha male.
It's awesome. Well, I'm going to show people a couple videos here for those that don't know your stuff. But before we do, we're tnholler.com is where you can find us at the TN Holler and all of these other hollers across the state. Thanks to everybody's support and for everybody chipping in. So Brett, before we show people your videos, I'm just curious. I don't know much about you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you from? How did this start?
Yeah, I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I guess the whole thing it started when people were burning Nikes when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and then that was like a year, and then it really took off when he signed a Nike contract. And I
Okay.
burnt more Nikes in my mom's backyard. So
So you basically decided I'm going to pretend to be them and then sort of take it to the logical conclusion, take it as further, just show them the logic flaws. Is that basically it?
yeah, especially if I'm holding up a pair of red high heels and a shirt that says Mike Pence, but it looks like Nike, that kind of stuff. Where it was just I was watching people burn stuff in their backyard, like season tickets to like the Colts or something, and they're like, "I'll
Right.
I'll never be back." I'm like, "Yes, you will."
Right. You absolutely will. Of course you will. I think that was that when Pence and Pence like walked out. He made a big showing of walking out of
Yeah,
the Colts game.
yeah, there was another one of those too. So very early on, I only did a few of those videos, but then, just recently in the past year, the pandemic hit, our last 2 years. So we didn't have anything to do. So it
Right.
was like, I guess I could just do one of these every day.
Well, they're great, and let's show one. Before we do, I want people to know that you're at Zanies on
Mhm.
Sunday evening, filming a double feature, taping a double feature. What's going on Sunday?
Yeah, it's Ryan Niemiller and I, and he's from America's Got Talent. We have a host, Johnny LaQuasto, and we're filming two shows to make it like a special comedy special that will hopefully be on something. We don't know yet,
Well,
but
good.
we need to film it first. But yeah, so I've been on the road the past few months, perfecting and getting it just right. Hopefully to record it. So it is stand up, and if when we watch some of these videos with the character, you will see a little bit of the character in there as well. But then also, I just do stand up as me.
Gotcha. So it's not just the character. Okay. So the first
No.
one that I'm going to show here, this is you. This is the one that you have pinned.
Okay.
This is basically making the case for why you shouldn't be getting a smoke detector and relating it to why you don't need to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's my right as an American to have my house burned down if I want to. My forefathers died for that. That's called freedom. What's the worst that could happen? My house catches on fire, and then my neighbor's house catches on fire, and then their neighbor's house catches on fire. Well, if you're too scared to have your house burned down, then don't have one. That's what I say. Live somewhere else. Stop telling me to get a smoke detector. We don't know the long-term effects of these things. The battery goes low, and next thing you know, it's chirping 24/7. We don't know what that does to the human body.
Brett, man, we live here in Tennessee, and I show up at school board meetings a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what it is. Like, what has been the reaction from people to these? Do people think that you're serious most of the time?
Yeah, it's a 50-50, and it also depends on, like, this one. People are like, "What is wrong with this dude?" But then some of them are so like over the top, and I edit it in such a way there's like I hope there's nobody thinking, oh, this is real.
Oh, there's
But
definitely people thinking it's real.
well, that's the thing. Anytime I'm like, oh, nobody's gonna even think this one's real, then somebody will be like, this guy's stupid. Like it's always
Right.
surprising at how dumb people are, but I guess that shouldn't be surprising at this point.
Right. I mean, what I love about it is like it really does hit at the logic flaws in a really smart way. Um, have you found that people has this helped anybody see the error of their ways at all, or is it mostly just preaching to the choir?
Yeah, I don't know if somebody's had an epiphany, they've not let me know about it, but people will send it to their friends and family and be like, "This is you. Do you know that's you?"
Do you know
Uh
these guys? Do you know one of these?
uh I guess I do, but I'm also just from Indiana, and being on the road, and you work a lot of red states, and you just overhear these people. Like I just performed for a bunch of these people in the past few months. So, and it's like, and when I do that character on stage, sometimes they're not even aware that I'm talking about them. They're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "I don't."
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Well, that Colbert made a whole career out of, you know, Republicans love Colbert.
yeah.
Because a lot of them don't realize that he's making fun of them, and, like,
Hmm.
he's gone this whole career of saying things they agree with, and they haven't realized, or maybe they just don't care that he's actually been mocking them his whole career.
Yeah, yeah, I think a big part is not realizing, but because he'll say almost the exact same thing, but then there's that little slight twist that if you're
Right,
not paying attention, then you're not going to pick up on.
right, exactly, and so you are, I think, friends with Trey Crowder, who Tennesseans know really well, and Corey
Hmm.
Forrester, who, Trey tours with the Well Read Comedy Tour.
Hmm.
Uh, you're in town when they're in town. Is that a coincidence, or are you guys all together?
We share the same manager, so they're doing
Okay.
the same thing. They're filming their specials, I think Friday and Saturday. So it's Drew, Trey, and Corey. So and then Ryan and I are doing Sunday. So it's that is not a coincidence. It was made to be that way.
Okay, and your website is brentcomedy.com. You also have a podcast. Tell us about the podcast.
Yeah, I do a couple different podcasts. One is with Ryan and Johnny, who will be on the show Sunday. That's called The Cafeteria, and then my other podcast, it's called the Field Trip, and that's topic based. So, like the one that came out this week, we just watched a movie called The Velocipaster, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a kind of a werewolf movie, but it's a priest who turns into a velociraptor.
Is it new?
It's I think it came out in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so we watch like bad movies like that, which and then I've done like Thanksgiving gone wrong, Black Friday gone wrong. So every week it's a different topic. So if you don't like something, just wait a week and there might be one that you do like.
Okay, and that's called Field Trip
Yeah.
with Brent. All right. So, again, big fan. I've seen some of the stuff that you've been posting, and I just wanted to give you a chance to comment on it. This is not your butt crack, and people should stop tagging you in this. This insurrection butt crack is not yours. That's
That is
correct.
not my, and hopefully, you know how you do the face recognition on your phone. Hopefully my if it were butt cracks, it would not open for me. But
would
I
not
do
open for you.
people will tag me and stuff like not necessarily that one, but like if any guy that's chubby that has red hair, they'll be like, "Look, this is you," and then I'm like, "Is that what people think of me?" And I guess apparently so. So
Okay, and so also the rumors are false that this is not you and Corey Forrester at the insurrection,
I
right?
know that's the thing. Like people tag me in that one. There's another one that were people were tagging me in, and it is funny to like
It does look like Corey back there, though. I'm not convinced that's not him.
you know what? I know I'm friends with Corey, and I'm not sure either.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, also, obviously, we've just seen that, these text messages have come out. Have you seen some of the insurrection text messages
I saw
that,
that they came out, but I haven't read any of them yet.
okay, well, here's a few of them. This is text messages to Mark Meadows. These are
Mhm.
real. Basically saying, I heard Jeff Clark's getting put in. You're going to make a lot of patriots happy. Meadows saying he thinks the legislatures have the power, the VP has the power. I mean, what are your thoughts on this whole coup insurrection thing? Is it not insane that people are trying to tell us that's not actually what happened, even though we saw it before our very
Yeah.
eyes.
Well, and the character that I do, of course, everybody's just there to take the tour and,
Right.
pick up a souvenir at the
Did you do one with the tour and souvenir? I think I missed that one.
yeah, it's not surprising that anybody will twist it to fit their own narrative, because I think politically anymore is you've chosen your party, and whatever your party does, you try to manipulate your beliefs and morals to fit that, which is the complete wrong way to go about politics and morality and all that stuff.
Right. How do we come back from that? I think that's what everybody's wondering. Like, are we just
Yeah.
drifting further and further apart here? Or is there really a way to come back to each other? I'm kind of not sold. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that either. And I guess, have morals and stick to them. And then if somebody in your party doesn't agree with that, then you kick them out.
Right. Yeah, you
You
gotta
say
police yourselves.
yeah, we're not going to bend the rules to fit that guy or that woman. We'll just say we don't want you and replace you with somebody who fits our beliefs.
Right. So just so people know, again, Zanies Sunday evening, if you're in Nashville, make sure to check that out. Follow Brent on all his stuff. I want to play one more Brent video before we get him out of here. We appreciate him taking the time to do this. He addressed the issue of nobody wanting to work anymore. We're constantly hearing nobody wants to work anymore. There's a labor shortage, and why don't they just get back to work? And this was what Brent thought about that.
The problem with people today is nobody wants to work. All they want to do is sit at home and make phone call after phone call after phone call to the unemployment office for a check that may not even come. Nobody wants to work anymore. That people in the service industry are heroes. We meant that panderingly. It's time to get back to work after being overworked for the past year in dangerous conditions for very little pay. I want my mozzarella sticks. Nobody wants to work anymore.
Right.
People need to stop finding better paying jobs and come back to where I eat, so you can ask me how I'm doing, and I can respond with Dr. Pepper, extra ice, all while not looking up from the menu. Nobody.
I love it, Brent. I really love it. It just really captures the spirit of, what we see coming back from, I don't even want to call them conservatives because I don't feel like that's what they are, but it's the spirit of what they're throwing at us, and you really capture it. So I appreciate all the videos that you put out there. How often do you do them?
That's the thing is, like, whenever something happens and I also have to have time at the moment,
Yeah.
So and like that one was more of an evergreen thing because people are still saying that type of thing. But then sometimes, something happens and it's like, you got to jump on it and get it out, because tomorrow there will be a new thing. And thankfully, I feel like that the news cycle has slowed down. Like a couple years ago, there'd be a new thing every day. And now recently it's like, okay, every few days, and then you can kind of breathe a little bit, and which is probably the wrong word to use right now. But
Biden kind of gave us that gift of the news slowing down a little bit, but it does feel like there's a fire hose of bullshit. Your videos, Trey does videos like that too. Do you think there's something about comedians from, I guess, conservative areas, that gives you guys sort of a resonance right now, more so than, being Jewish? I could say it's like New York and LA Jews that preaching to the choir out there. Like we sort of need well-read redneck, that kind of voice out there.
I think just the big part of it is, a lot of comedy is calling out bullshit because, comedy from the jump has to be a premise that works. Because if a premise doesn't work, then it's not funny. If I put some wild premise out there and nobody laughs, maybe it's just because it's not true. So like you calling out bullshit because you live in it and you recognize you're a hypocrite. Your shirt says you need Jesus, but then you're like, let's beat him with the flag.
Right.
Like it's the complete opposite. It's a contradiction. So calling out that bullshit, I think, is the main thing.
How did you find your way to stand up?
I started when I was 16 in high school. I just would, the library in my high school is connected to all the local library. So I would leave every day with a stack of CDs, and that's how you get turned into a collections agency when you don't turn them back in. as a kid, but I just wanted to do stand up, and I started, and thankfully, it's so far so good.
Who were your CDs that you were stealing?
Well, I didn't steal them, but I just didn't turn them back in.
Right, right,
But
right. Whose CDs did you
all
borrow
I
and
would
not give back?
search stand-up comedy and get all of them, but my favorites have always been, George Carlin and Richard Pryor, which is every comedian's answer,
Sure.
and then Eddie Murphy. And then you go back and look at some of those, and you're like, oh, you can't say that now, and you shouldn't say that now.
Right.
But yeah, some of the favorites, but I mostly George Carlin is one of my favorites.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that you're doing it. A lot of people, I guess, probably don't know my background. I used to run production development for National Lampoon. I spent like 8 years running it for them, and kind of was in the comedy and entertainment world before I got politically activated, which I would kind of credit Trump with. I think he activated a lot of people for various reasons. So I have a deep appreciation for comedy and comedians and people willing to get up there. And it always seems like one of the scariest things to do is stand up in front of a bunch of people and try to be funny. Was there a period of time where you just had to kind of get used to that, get over that? How long did that take?
Occasionally I still get nervous, and that, nervous means you care, so that's not a bad thing. You just use that energy to be, better, I guess. But, when I first started, I would be super nervous, and I was performing at my high school. So if it went bad or good, I would
stay with you forever.
trapped.
Right.
Well, like for the next year. So like that, I don't think it ever happened, but if I didn't do well, I could be walking down the hall and be like, yep, he didn't do well. There he is right there.
Right. You got to try to disappear. That's why the open mics are good, because you can kind of go be someone you're not. Well, again, Sunday night, Zanies, Nashville, folks, if you're out there, Brent Terhune, he's at Brent Terhune on Twitter. Where else do you want people to find you?
BrentComedy.com has all the links to my podcast and stuff like that. So that's the main thing. And then that has the links for Zanies as well, or you can just go to Zanies.com.
All right. And follow all the hollers, and we'll make sure to repost Brent stuff. Brent, thanks for checking us out here. Good luck with the special this weekend, and stay in touch with us. Come back soon.
Yeah, man. Good talking to you. Thank you very much.
You too. Take care, brother. Bye.
See ya.